Hello friends, welcome back. Now that we are done with chapter number 7, which talks about the ADAS, consumption and saving function, and other related aspects of the same. And we have already talked about all these concepts in last 3-4 videos. So let's move ahead with the next chapter in hand, and that's income determination by AD and AS approach. For the sake of simplicity and ease and fast completion, I have taken the same table which we have been using in last videos as well, which talks about income and consumption, and the rest of all the things can be derived as I've told you several times. So because AD and AS approach is required, so first and foremost thing is AD is made up of C and I, and AS is made up of C plus S. But in this table, we do not have I, AD, and AS. So let's find out. In my previous video, I told you that though I is autonomous as well as induced, but for this chapter, throughout, we would be taking I as autonomous. Autonomous means a constant value. Let's have it at 10. So, can we find AD now? AD is equal to C plus I. So, let's have it. C plus I, the second column, plus 10 at every level. So that gives me 20 plus 10, 30, 120, 210, 300, 390, 480, and 570. And if I want to talk about AS here, so AS would be C plus S. And eventually you would find that you have landed on nothing but income variable. So C is 20, and if you add minus 20 in it, you would get 0. Similarly, 110 plus minus 10 gets you 100. And when you keep on calculating, you would have it this way. So now that we are done with the table, let's talk about the intricate details of AD and AS approach. Before moving any further, let me take you back to your previous understanding of equilibrium. Whenever we talk about equilibrium, what is equilibrium? Equilibrium is a state of rest. I would write it down here. The state of rest. Rest means the most satisfying condition, for any economy. Means even if you're moving forward or backwards, you would be at loss. In our microeconomics, where did we have that equilibrium? Equilibrium was attained where D was equal to S. But this is macroeconomics, so we have the equilibrium obtained at AD is equal to AS. The condition where AD is equal to AS. So that is our condition of equilibrium. And whenever for 6 marker, we have to go for elaboration of any concept in economics, what do? We state the same, we try to give the assumptions, we give it with the help of schedule and curve along with the explanation. So how do we define it? This is a stage where AD is equal to AS, that is equilibrium, right? So this is the definition. Schedule has been made right in front of you. I'll be drawing the curve and then we'll find the explanation also. Before moving any further, let's talk about some of its assumptions as well. Because whenever we want to express any theory question, these points do matter. So here we have 3-4 assumptions as we talked about the investment part. So investment here is autonomous, so it remains constant. On a very similar note, prices also remain constant here, right? When we talk about this concept, this is a short run concept. And the last assumption is it is meant for two-sector model. Here we are not having any intervention by the government or the rest of the world. So after giving these four assumptions, you can simply go ahead with the schedule and curve. So just see, in this schedule, you really do not need APC, APS, NPC, and NPS here, but and delta C and delta S, of course. You need to have the basic elements of Y, C, and S, and I, along with AD, which you derive from the two components, and AS, which you derive again from two components. Right. So rest of the things would be given in the schedule. Can you analyze it now? So I do have, see, at this level, we have AD is equal to AS. So where is the equilibrium reach? We always tell the equilibrium in terms of the income at that level. So we'll say equilibrium income in the economy is 300 units. So equilibrium is stated in terms of Y. Y is income. And if you note, we would be eventually doing S and I approach, and in S and I approach also, because economy is the same economy, whether we go by this or that approach, the answer has to be the same. I'll tell you how and why. AD is equal to C plus I, right? AS is equal to C plus S. Going mathematically, we can cut C. So we land on the other expression of the same approach, that is S and I approach. So means this very income level would also show the equilibrium through S and I approach, and S and I approach means S should be equal to I here. So are we able to get S equal to I? See, S at this level is 10 and I also at this level is 10. So it is justified. Point is, whenever we would be talking about S and I approach, the same table with only these Y, C, S and I, these four columns will get you the needful done for schedule. Now let's talk about curve and let us see. We will come back on this table analysis once we are done with the diagram. So AD and AS approach, if it is required, don't complicate your diagrams. Otherwise, I'll give you all in one diagram also, and how to make, I'll give you the tricks. We know we initiated this chapter with the concept of AD, and we know like C, because AD is made up of C and I is a constant value. So whatever is the behavior of C, that is replicated in AD. So AD is this way. Right, this is AD curve. And when we talk about AS curve, AS is a 45-degree line rising from the origin. You would write here aggregate demand and supply. Aggregate supply. Better you use full terms, aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Here it is income and employment. Right. So where is AD equal to AS? At this point, the economy is in equilibrium, and this level of Y is the equilibrium level of income. Right. What happens before AD is equal to AS and after AD is equal to AS? So before this, I have a situation of AD. AD is up. So AD greater than AS. And after this, I have the situation of AD lesser than AS. Means AS is outgoing AD. So we can have this from schedule as well. Before this level, means before this level of income 300, we have AD bigger than AS 330 and 0, 120 and 100. Right. And after this level is attained, AD is lesser, means 390, and here it is 400. 480, here it is 500. So now AS has increased beyond AD. So we have these three situations AD. Now the point is, whenever we are explaining for equilibrium, we do give the situations of disequilibrium. Means what then is the situation of disequilibrium? AD is greater than AS or AD is smaller than AS. So these are the situation of disequilibrium. And I did tell you that in this chapter and the previous chapter, everything is on ex ante basis. Whenever we talk about ex ante means it is assumed, it is not the real thing, it is just the planning. This is going to be the level of, just the planning and planned level of consumption, investment, savings in the economy. So here, the economists are planning that equilibrium would be stuck at this very point. Now, when we talk about disequilibrium, see, AD greater than AS. Think, imagine when demand is more and supply is less. What is the situation? The problem is here it will lead to a problem of demand is more. It means the expected inventory, what we want the inventory to be, the inventory falls short. So inventory keeps on going down, which we want to keep, right? Because demand is high and production is going at a low pace. So what is the solution to this? What would the economists advise in this situation? Solution is, because now see the diagram, I'm trying to help you with the explanation from diagram, that in this situation of OY region where AD is greater and AS is smaller, where are we to go? We are to attain this point of Y, and we are here somewhere before Y. So what is the solution? We should go for more and more of production. So here the solution is production should increase. If production increases, the inventory, the expected level of inventory would be achieved and AD will be equal to AS eventually and equilibrium will be attained. On the other side, when we talk about AD lesser than AS, now see, this is the point which is beyond this level of income. Now, at this level of income, where should we be? We should be at this level of income of equilibrium, right? OY level. This is the level we need. But where are we? We are beyond it. So, what is the situation at this time? The problem. Why am I writing the problem? Because it's a situation of disequilibrium, and disequilibrium means the problem is not really, the situation is not really good. There is a problem. And the problem is now demand is less. People are asking for less commodities and the production is going higher and higher and higher. It means the inventories will pile up. Inventories go up. Now, there is unwanted stock of inventory in the economy if the economy is working at a level beyond this OY, right? So what's the solution? The solution is we should come back at this level of OY. If we are presently at this level of OY dash, right? So we should come back at OY. So what's the remedy? The production should be reduced. And when the production is reduced, it means unwanted stock which has now piled up will gradually get cleaned up. It would get used up and unwanted stock would diminish and hence AD will become equal to AS. So this way, now, in this video lecture, we talked about what do you mean by AD, AS, what are the two approaches, and how do we explain the equilibrium through AD and AS approach. As I stated, once again, I'm telling you for this question, even if it is of 4 marks or 6 marks, the ideal expression is if you can it's not mandatory to create a table unless and until it is put up in the question. But ideally, if you have some time and if you're confident enough, do go for the schedule and curve. Assumptions, there are just small 4 assumptions. You should be giving the assumption as well. You begin with definition, then assumption, then schedule and curve and explanation. And no one can give you any loss of mark. You will have full on full there if you're giving all these components well. And whenever you are talking about the explanation beneath, you should refer to as given in this schedule, the AD and AS are equal at 300 units, and this is the level of income which refers to 300 units once again. So whenever you are explaining, try to inculcate the values of, try to incorporate the values of what you have given in schedule, and as clearly stated in the curve also, or in the diagram as well. Mentioning of these words simply relates your explanation with your schedule and curve. I hope the things are now clear, and if you have any doubts, all your comments, your queries are welcome. See you in the next video. And in the next video, we'll talk about, on very similar note, we will talk about the approach of S and I for determination of equilibrium. Till then, see ya. God bless. Have a nice day.